Do you have any idea how insane it is for me to be excited to be making one of these videos? I might as well start out because I mentioned in the last video I was transitioning these videos to be more of a yearly retrospective, and I think that was for the best because I feel less burnt out on them and it just gives me more time in other parts of the year to make stuff I do want to make. But I was also excited for another very specific reason that we will get to eventually. Now, considering that there's a lot of new people here, to catch you up to speed, I occasionally make these what I call rant videos, where I just basically go over the stuff that I've done and made since the last rant video, and just give my thoughts on them, or talk about some stuff I couldn't talk about in the original video or whatever. But yeah, I guess this also just gives me the excuse to like talk about last year. And I guess going off on like, you know, the title and thumbnail of the last one, yeah, I got into competitive Splatoon. Well, I say got into, I was looking into it, but really all I ended up doing was like one Sendu type of tournament, and then like the rest was just like the locals at Metro Inc. Shout out to Metro Inc., by the way. As I'm recording this, actually, and I assume when this goes up, another one will be happening on February 8th. So if you want the chance to see me live, potentially, you can check out the live stream that they would be hosting. I would recommend looking into that if you're interested. Last time I went there, I was on stage and I threw up a meme every time the camera panned to me, and that was fun. But yeah, I've just been going at it with, yes, with the undercover umbrella as well. I don't expect to get far with it, but my goal is not really to succeed. I'm there to have fun, obviously, but if I'm gonna do anything, I'm entertaining people, right? Like, I am a built-in entertainer. So if I do some sick shit with an arrow spray or an undercover, like, I'm gonna make the crowd go nuts. It probably won't happen, but it could. And that's what's cool about it. Like, the fact that I won that last game, like, I lost the match, but I won the last game, is a statement enough to say, like, yeah, I can do stuff with this weapon. or with my skill set or whatever. So yeah, that's been fun. I am hoping to get more into it eventually. I don't really see myself really dedicating to it until like the 4th game comes out. Because then it'll be like, you know, fresh new game. Get to like go into a meta that not everyone is immediately familiar with. Yeah, we'll see. Usually I like to tackle the single player before going into multiplayer. So it might take me a week or something, but you know, that's just how it goes. Hey, doing a second recording because I actually forgot about a thing that I also wanted to discuss that happened like in 2024. I ended up like accidentally ended up making a Twitter account, because like the way it happened is like I want to get on like see the stuff, like people reply to things on Twitter, but I can't see that, and it's constantly like, oh, like sign into your Google account to see, and I'm like, okay, I'll use my Google account, sure. And it's like, great, have fun with your brand new account. Like, huh? Stupid fucking shit. I didn't ask for this. I didn't choose this. But there it is. No, but for real. And like, being on Twitter has been so fucking miserable. Because everyone just complains. Like, or they call me a fucking... Like, I've had people call me, like, say verbatim, "You are a fucking idiot." Like, exclamation point and everything. With some other preamble afterwards. And it's just like... Bro, I don't know why. I read that and I'm just like laughing to myself, like, who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just tweeted. But yeah, everyone's been abandoning the site and I straight up just left. I am now on Blue Sky. I am also going to be, from every video forward, only have Blue Sky as my social. Because, like, while I do still have the Twitter, I still have the Instagram, I still have the SoundCloud, I am not frequently active enough on either of those platforms to really justify telling people to go there. Like, I'll keep them in my about, because they're there, but as far as I'm concerned, they are abandoned. SoundCloud is really only abandoned because I reached like the maximum amount I can upload there without having to pay. Like, what? Bro, YouTube lets me do that for free. What the fuck, dude? Whatever. Keeps the slop from forming there, I guess. All that to say, if you want to get in contact with me, find me on Blue Sky. And maybe Discord if you can find me there. I'm not promoting that, though. I'm glad I left, too. It was shortly before the election results. I can only imagine what the hellscape looked like at that moment. Congratulations, Twitter. You are officially the shortest amount of time I've ever been on a social media platform. Good job. Hello, something that I forgot to bring up because it technically wasn't a thing that I uploaded to my channel, but I actually did kinda collaborate with someone else last year. Like, saying collaborate is very generous, but I was featured on the Dual-Taining series by MBT to play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! With a funny twist. It was really fun. I recommend you check that out. I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video, since it's not connected to me directly. But, yeah, the only things I would have to say about that are, like, I feel like I kind of got a little carried away with the combo. I was, like, under a lot of pressure because I was playing it on a live stream, and like I was kind of freaking out the entire time. Like I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I actually pulled off the combo, oh my god. But also like yeah, I should have waited until I was completely done with my Infinitrack combo, my machine combo, before revealing the spell, the dump Vsauce, as he calls it. Because he and chat were able to discover, yeah, I was summoning Astraloud the whole time. Which, by the way, the fact that I was able to pull off that combo was insane. Because, like, the deck is pretty consistent with actually, like, achieving that goal. But with the hand I drew and the combo I went with, I had a 1 in 3 chance of actually succeeding. And thankfully, MBT, you picked the right card for me. Thank you. Very appreciated. As far as I'm concerned, I accomplished my goal. It was a very fun time. It was very exciting to be there. I have also noticed that I've kind of left a little bit of an influence with your community, because people keep bringing up Astraloud substitutes. Like, I've seen, like, in other videos, people have brought up, like, Drag Shovel as support, which is really funny. Yeah, there were so many jokes I could have gone with, like, oh, he's dressed up in drag, or this deck is a drag, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I just figured, you know, forklift certification joke would be funny. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for having me on. It was very fun. The more I look at my odd logo, the more I wonder what the fuck was I thinking with it? Because I'm like, okay, like, why is that 1D the only one off-center? But whenever I think that, I just think, it fits the name, so who cares? Firepower Records is an interesting topic to discuss. I do at some point want to... it would be a bit ambitious, but I would want to maybe do a tier list ranking them all. It's just that I would have to skip over a lot of the music by Datsik because that guy got canceled. I'm not going to get into it now. It would be a very long process for a video. So I would probably work on it in the background while I work on something easier or something. That was kind of a whatever video. The real first interesting thing to happen was the my new favorite commenter video, where I just read off a tweet and screenshot from Salty DK Dan. Shout out to Salty DK Dan, by the way. Already put out his best of 2025 video before he even like existed in the year. So like that's impressive. But yeah, that was a really fun video to make. It was really like I wouldn't say easy. It took me like a whole day, but it was pretty quick compared to like a lot of other stuff. Like, dude, I just knew like, oh, that needs like that one specific JoJo song, and like, I swear to God, I did not like even time when the like crescendo played or whatever. That just like naturally fell together. And I lucked the fuck out because of that, because it worked so fucking well. Like, I was planning to do that too. Like, I didn't have to do any work for that. It was like perfect. What's interesting about this video though is that like I uploaded it, it got like a bit of attention. Like I posted it to the public Salty server on Discord. Some over there seem to really like it. The thumbnail is the biosona of myself. I guess that's like what they call those like salty sona things. But yeah, I did that as a meme, and I was just like, oh, I'll just use it as a thumbnail, I guess. And a couple days after it uploaded, I wake up to find that it got like 800 views in the span of a few hours. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, keep in mind, I'm going to be talking about some other stuff that gradually got a lot of views. But those videos garnered those views over a longer span of time. I want to say this video right here is like the quickest I've ever received any amount of views in a short amount of time. I don't know what happened, but it just spiked and then plateaued. Like, it just like, it got to like it was like at 50 views, which at the time, like, even now I would say like a pretty like successful video. And waking up to see that it garnered an extra 800, and then it like teeters out to 1,000. As of right now, it's still like at 1,000. I'm just like, what the fuck happened there? Like, did it just like get picked up or shared around? But like, I checked. This video was just like, the analytics say it was just recommended to people and they clicked on it. Was it because of the thumbnail? Like, I would have to imagine it's just like, what the fuck is this? And maybe they just like it just got picked up by a lot of people at once. I don't know. It just kind of happened. So like, I'm not complaining. After that was the first Akawa of the year, the Decoupon from Suika Game. This really just started as a meme, like a joke between me and my friends. I think, if I remember correctly, because it's been like a year, I think it was like my friend, like one of my friends in the group was just saying like, he has a face that looks like he's autistic or something like that. And we just ran with it, and then I'm like, well, like, even they were just like, yo, Akawa on Dekapon when? And I took that seriously. Because of course I would. Next was the April video, the I'm sorry video, and as I'm sure you can imagine, there's not really much to explain with that one. However, if you can't tell, I'm kind of breezing through this because I expect this to be a very, very long video. It was the next video, though, that was probably my favorite video I've probably ever produced. This is where I feel like the jump in quality of my editing really shined, because I was so fucking dedicated to making this video. I was really like hyper fixated on like making this video, and I am so proud of how it turned out. I still get annoyed because I look at like some vague editing errors, like oh my god, I forgot to like use the right font in this very specific section that no one's gonna give a shit about. Like the way my editing software works, I don't know if there's a way to change it, but like the default text is not the text that I use. I use Rockwell font. Here's an example of what that would look like. Hello. Yeah, how you doing? Alright. That's a little TMI. Well, like I know I asked. I'm just like kind of. We're on a public forum, dude. Like this kind of. No, like it's cool. It's just like I'm not. No, come on. Sorry, folks. Some technical difficulties there. But yeah, just there was another thing where it's like I made a joke about how the GooTuber can pierce enemies. Apparently, that's not the case, and the reason I thought that is because it does in Salmon Run, and I just assumed. So, turns out GooTuber can pierce. That's why it's able to do it in Salmon Run. The thing that I was actually wrong about is, the Brella Shield, including Undercover, is not susceptible to piercing. I do not know why I didn't know that. I guess, like, I just don't go up against a lot of piercing weapons, but I could have sworn that the E-Leader's jank-ass hitbox was able to kill me anyway, but I don't know. The fact that I was able to give so much detail on this very niche weapon, because it's like, with a weapon like this, who the fuck is going to make a guide about it? You know? I might as well be that guy. And even if you're not there to like learn the weapon, might as well have fun just watching a stupid video. Like, I even joke about like, oh, like, why would you want to take this competitively? Like I brush that off as like a nothing thing, but then I ended up doing that. But no, please don't do that. Like, I do it because I think it's funny and because I am very specifically like catered to the weapon. Like, I am someone referred to me as a specialist or whatever. I think that fits me really well. I am very specialized in this weapon specifically. If you have not yet seen that video, please watch it. I put so much heart into that video, and like, it did really well from what I can tell. And I know it's a very, very niche sort of subject matter, because no one cares to play that. But like, I put so much work into the editing of this video, more than I have in a lot of videos in a long time, that I would really appreciate it if you checked it out. After that, was another shitpost. It, like, seeing the success of the new favorite commenter video, like, it was my like attempt at like trying to do like a little bit of branching out, shorter form content that I could just like make in like a day to a few hours or something. Because like those reading off comment videos are always like kind of funny. They're not as popular anymore, But I definitely like them. And I want to get more into, like, doing funny voices. Like, I've expressed it before. I really like doing voices. They are fun. And I want to find excuses to do them. And so, in this video, I spend, like, a good 12 seconds doing my best, what's his name? Eric Stewart impression? The guy that voices Brock and Kaiba from 4Kids and whatever. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh head. And doing the Yu-Gi-Oh voices are going to be fun no matter what, because they're just so iconic and exaggerative. Yeah, they just hold a lot, like, so much personality in them, and Kaiba is no exception. So, seeing someone write out something as if they were Kaiba from the perspective of Drake getting dissed by Kendrick Lamar was something I could not pass up, especially considering the curveball I threw into my rendition. Right, so I didn't know who the Curry Bandits was at the time that I made this video. I think I've since discovered their stuff, but interestingly enough, they actually commented on the video. Someone pointed this out to me. I didn't really look at it until, like, just now, actually. I pinned a comment that said, "Screw the allegations, I have money." And they just replied with, "Author of the tweet here, this is funnier than what I said." Which, yo, author of the tweet saw my thing. Thank you very much. I assume that's probably why it garnered as much attention as it did, which, by the way, the success of that video definitely caught me by surprise. Because while the Salty video got like 800 in like only a few hours, this video was a lot more gradual. To put into perspective, at the time, my most popular video was a Jax Films edit. I'd recommend that too, because that one's funny. Also the follow-up, just skip the intro and outro, that shit was cringe. But like, this video was starting to get like so much attention that it was rivaling it in views. And the Jax Films video being like my most like viewed public video was something that I was proud of, because like, yo, that's really cool. Like, I put a lot of effort into that one, and it's Jax Films, who I admire. This was a 12-second shitpost that was garnering on the same amount of views, around 4,000, and I'm just like, I'm proud of the humor of this one. I really hope it doesn't overtake it. Thankfully, it hasn't. But something else did, and it kind of made me go, in retrospect, wow, I was worried about nothing. We're getting close! We're getting close. But it was proven to me, like, okay, like, this is like some content people enjoy watching. They think it's funny. So I immediately follow up with like another one where it was an Australia joke. Admittedly, I didn't really do any sort of twist on the concept of this one. It was just kind of like make you laugh at the very tail end. And like, it still got like a decent amount of attention, but it just made me go, okay. Like, I gotta like pick these things I read out more specifically, and if I do, then I gotta make sure like I have a joke to make with it, because otherwise it's just me literally reading something out, and that's boring. Or it's boring in concept. So if I'm doing these ever again, which I do want to do more of these, it's gonna be a little more substantive. Really, I just read out ones that I think would be funny when read out in a very specific way. Next was another odd, talking about Pokemon from Generation 2. I promise next time I will use the Pokedex from their respective generations. My bad. But yeah, I do plan on covering all of the Pokemon and their respective, like, new forms they give to other Pokemon in each gen. Eventually. My plan is to tackle, like, one a year. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, and then I made an Akawa Marina, and that was pretty fun. Yeah, and then I did another tweet read over Shay Frillis talking about someone complaining about like the Hyrule Rivers video, which, by the way, I saw that video before I saw that tweet. Really interesting video. I know nothing about like the science of rivers or whatever, but like watching that was like really interesting because they put a lot of thought into how the rivers work in Hyrule. So yeah, I'd recommend that. I think I linked it in the description too. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll talk about the Marina video. You happy? You happy now? Okay. Ah! What the fuck, dude? What was that? Ah! Okay, so like, to put into perspective, I was like, I knew that it would get like some attention, right? It's a popular character. It's from like a franchise people care about. Like, I've done this song and dance before, right? I made a video on Nemona from Pokemon. It was the first thing I made in this series, and that garnered a lot of attention. That got like 1,000 views over the course of a year. I think it took like a day for it to reach that or something. I forget it. Like, I legit have forgotten like how, like, you could see me like on my Twitter, on my community tab, like just me gradually going, what the fuck is happening? Because I'm like, right now, it like the general rounded number it says is like, it is sitting at 17K. 17K. That just it just felt like it was getting like 1,000 a day until it started plateauing. And I'm just sitting there going like, what the fuck is happening? I was growing numb. At it, like, just like the next day it was just like, yep, another 1,000 views for the video. Like, I just had to go, what the fuck was happening? And I have a few theories. Well, I have one big theory, which is that it's a result of very small things coalescing. It was just the perfect storm. First of all, a good few of my videos, the months before, have been garnering a good amount of attention. Starting with that Salty video, just like blowing up. Especially more recently, the Kaiba Drake versus Kendrick drama video, like that also like got me a lot more like natural feeling attention. So I was already on like the algorithm's radar, which I kind of forgot to mention. By the way, that drama got me into Kendrick music. Man, I've been missing out. That shit good. Like that new album, like, woo, woo. Anyway, really looking forward to that Super Bowl performance. That's gonna be hype. But yeah, just yeah, like I've already been like under the algorithm's radar recently, so that just worked out. Splatoon's popular. As I've seen with my previous videos, topics on autism and autism awareness is stuff that people want to see. So like, it's a combination of that, Marina, and apparently like I kind of knew this, but not to like this extent, that like people have been like theorizing her to be autistic like for a while now. This was just kind of mostly my own conclusions that I came to when making that video. And that, plus me talking about her being gay for like half the video, was... I feel like I was just like... It was a combination of the subject matter, the algorithm, and I guess the way I went about my approach, I suppose. It was a combination of all these things that just led to it blowing up like it did. But there's one more aspect that I really did not take into account. And that's that the Splatoon community is like, what? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. The Splatoon community is filled with a lot of people that just circulate their own stuff and support each other, which is really freaking cool. I guess I just didn't take into account that, you know, anyone who's like really balls deep into Splatoon watching that gets recommended to other people balls deep into Splatoon, and just cycles, because that's probably like a big facet of the content they consume. I like to imagine it being compared to like Sonic. Like, you could probably imagine how much Sonic content there is on YouTube, and that probably has its own like community where like it just kind of cycles within like a large group of people. I guess it must just be like a similar thing. Like I know Splatoon's big. I never really engaged with them more than I have like this year. Which, like, by the way, shout out to you guys. You're the real ones. I realize that does give me a Splatoon audience now, so I know how to cater to you. But I hope you realize this channel is for me and the stuff that I'm passionate about, as you'll see in like the video I talk about next. But I am aware, and I do plan on tackling more Splatoon. Like, trust me, I never intended to just cut Splatoon off there anyway. I'm a Splatoon head. I've been playing since the first game, okay? Like, I get it. But damn, man, I'm still in such disbelief. And it put me into a situation where I'm like, I guess to get out of the way early, I made the addendum video because, like, regardless of how viral it went, there were some things that I clearly, like, did not take into account. And it really taught me, like, damn, man, I should not keep my videos a complete secret to my friends, because they could help me out with a lot of shit. Like, oh my god, I just assumed the author of the manga was a dude. Oh, I just, like, didn't know this, like, very crucial bit of evidence that would have, like, pushed my narrative further, I guess. But yeah, while I would have probably made that video on its own, there was definitely a lot of pressure to do it considering. So if you've seen that original video but haven't seen the addendum, please watch the addendum. It is very imperative to the discussion of the rest of the video. But yeah, thank you for that. I guess also to get ahead of it, got me to 500 views. 500 subscribers. I'm now like past that threshold. I just... I wanted to get to like 500 at some point, because I know it's like, I think the minimum requirement to get like some type of monetization. I have to look more into it. I barely did, but like, getting monetized would be nice. Like, I'm not going to be running like mid-rolls or anything. I feel like those are obnoxious. Plus everyone runs like ad block anyway, so it like doesn't really matter that much. But like, it would be so awesome. It would be so cool. But now I can finally talk about my real niche obsessions. To put you into perspective of how much I wanted to make the Shining Sarcophagus video, I was writing the script before I was done with the Marina video. I was that dead set on making that video. I was so into it, and the script just kept getting longer and longer and longer. I'm very proud of how that turned out. I do feel like there is like a lot of glazing going on, like a ridiculous amount of glazing, I admit. Having like played the deck now in Master Duel and having like seen people discuss it more and more, I do realize, like, yeah, I know this deck is not good. I know this deck is not good. However, the thing about it is that, like, the significance I put onto it, like, I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been, like, nostalgia pandering to a lot of Yu-Gi boomers lately, especially with that Metal Morph series that I use as an example. Which, by the way, oh God, I think I fell down another rabbit hole. I kind of want those cards now, and not because of like the nostalgic that they were planning for. I just have a soft spot for Metal Zoa because I discovered that thing in Capsule Monster Coliseum before I knew how to use the internet, and the game didn't tell you how that mechanic works, so I just discovered that by accident, and he just showed up and he was like really fucking strong, and I just was like, whoa. Shout out to Steel Scorpion, by the way. Best Earth Machine monster. Like I know that they're pandering to Yu-Gi boomers, so it's very possible I could have been coping with my narrative. But I genuinely believe that's what started, like what sparked interest in developing this deck. I have thought up of ideas on how to go about fixing it to like make it like actually competent. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be making more cards in the series, because they've come out with like expansions and stuff that haven't really, like, all they did was they gave us the Summon Skull, and then they gave us like the Dark Magician and the Dark Magician Trap. Like, I think now they are content. If they were ever to make more like support, I want to see Blockman. I was talking about that a lot because I think that would be a really funny meme to have Blockman just show up out of nowhere. But also, like, maybe if they gave us a Gaia that you could summon to your opponent's side of the field, that could be funny. Maybe they can make a card that's just the Magnet Warrior trio like they did with the gadgets. And, you can run that Magnet Warrior support. But, like, that could be cool. Obviously, like, Dark Magician Girl is, like, the very obvious next step to go for.
Editor's note. What the fuck?
But other than stuff like that, and maybe like some like spell and traps that like also reference like countering the gods, like if they were to do like a retrain of that magnet trap that Yugi used to defeat the Egyptian gods, that could go hard. I don't know what they would do, but it could go hard. I would really like to see it. This was a thing that I was really unsure about how to tackle, and that was like at the end where I referred to Kazumi Takahashi as Takahaki-san or whatever, and I was unsure if that was the proper way to go about addressing him, because like I'm not like familiar with Japanese dialect, and I was speaking to a friend who is more knowledgeable about that subject matter because they've been studying Japanese or whatever, and they told me like they didn't really know. Like they pretty much said that like if like a famous person passes, it's not uncommon for common folk to refer to them as such, because it's usually reserved for like, you know, like people you know. So I didn't know if it was proper or not. They said that, like, it could be. So I was just like, I think it would be safer to do it than to not, just to show that, like, I'm trying to be, like, polite about it, because it is a very serious point in the video. But I can't help but cringe every time I hear it. But I really wanted to try and be respectful about it, and I figured if not saying it is disrespectful, then, like it is, like, if I am disrespectful when I say that, like that, I do apologize. I'm a stupid fucking American that doesn't know any better. But I just figured, like, it would probably be best to, like, try and tackle it in, like, from their cultural perspective, considering. Yeah, it was definitely a interesting decision, I suppose. But yeah, like, I put a lot of effort into that video too. Like, that and the Undercover Umbrella video were, like, my two most passionate videos that I made this year, or that year, I guess. So, like, please check them out if you haven't. Also, keep in mind, this is not the last you're going to see of the Shining Sark on this channel. Stay tuned. But yeah, other than that, it was Morikawa's. I talk about Cyrus because of the Pokemon leaks, which were mistranslated at first. I feel like that was a pretty self-explanatory video. Not much to add on it. Although there was someone in the comments that does like the idea of interpreting them that way, and I say good. I want to make it very apparent, like, I am not gospel. If you disagree with me on subject matters, like, feel free. Like, I had people disagree with me on, like, tackling the Marina video or whatever. Like, there are some people who view her as more ADHD than autistic, and I'm like, yeah, go for it, man. Like, that's valid. Like, this is all just headcanon anyway. Like, this is nothing concrete. I have my opinions on interpreting Cyrus that way. But unless your example is very obviously offensive, then, like, just fucking go for it, man. And then finally, Jacksepticeye came out as a fan of trains. No, for real, that was a really big deal, and there was no way I wasn't going to talk about it. I really didn't know what to do with the thumbnail, so I just kind of, like, did a joke of, like, that one meme of Tom coming out of a door with the Jacksepticeye eyes on him. Because, like, what am I going to do? Like, use a Jacksepticeye logo instead? It feels a little redundant. So I just decided to make a meme of him, like, coming out of the closet or whatever. I don't think it translated well. I refrained from using his name in the title, which is probably why I didn't get too much views, because I didn't want to look exploitative, you know? Like I'll put him in the tags. I am not that shameless. But I don't want to, like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm using this famous guy for attention. Like, it feels a little cringe, you know? And with that being said, yeah, that's all I did last year. I don't really have much else to say. I guess all that's left is for me to just address what a fucking ride that latter quarter of the year was like. Because, like, I've gone about, like, this channel talking like people are watching, you know? And no one really was, aside from, like, my friends. And even then, my friends that were willing to watch. Seeing there be an audience and actual interaction with people feels so surreal to me. Last year, in the rant before this one, if I remember correctly, I believe I got, like, kind of sentimental over the idea that, like, the Akawa series is something that people want to see. And this is something that I really want to make. And there's clearly an audience for that. But now with this recent surge in attention, it's very clear that people don't just want to see this kind of content. They want to see me. And that is something that I feel I haven't really felt before. And it feels really good. So, thank you all for sticking with me and giving me a chance. I promise to make this year just as worthwhile as the last one. I have a lot of plans for Akawas down the line, so be ready for those. My goal is to have a video once a month, so this will be January's video. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah, shout out to the Splatoon community, especially like the competitive Splatoon community. I've been getting buddy with a lot of people there. That's been fun. Shout out to Metro Inc., New York LAN. Shout out to Luna Parks specifically too. They brought me into their server, and it's been really fun to interact with them on occasion. Yeah, and just thank you for such a mind-blowing, like, God, this is gonna sound so corny. Thank you for a life-changing year. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to bathe in holy water for that cringe. Thank you. Good night.